Welcome, everyone. This is Virginia Parsons, your Hangout mentor and the host of the Inspirational Businesswoman Show, where it is my passion and my purpose to bring you, the entrepreneur, a goldmine of entrepreneurial tips, strategies, and advice to help you grow your business from inspirational businesswomen in the know. Now, we have a very special guest today talking about what I think is a very important topic around growing relationships and having lasting relationships. I can't wait to introduce her to you, and I will be in just a moment, so hold on to your hats. But before we do that, please, I appreciate your being here and taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here live for the show. And for those of you who are in the replay mode, I love that too, because I do know that your time is valuable. So I'm so pleased you're taking the time in replay to see the information we have for you here today. So whether you're live or in replay, let us know where you're hanging out from. I really care about you, and I want to provide you with the best possible experience. I also would like this to be a collaborative of inspirational businesswomen and men, because I know we have a lot of men followers out there. So let us know what your passion is. Let me know what you're all about and what you're doing in your business and in your life. Just add all those comments in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate it. Today's show is sponsored by hangout-marketing.com, where you can receive a free Hangout Marketing Assessment. Have you done that yet? It will only take you a couple of minutes to do that assessment. And what it's going to do is measure your skill set and your knowledge base and how to use Hangouts and other live stream broadcasting platforms to brand, grow, and market your business. And you might even qualify for a free strategy session with me where we'll sit down and go through your business and how you can use these platforms to get out there in a big way and do, like I say, step out of your shadow and shine as the go-to expert. So all you need to do to take advantage of that assessment is text the word success, SUCCESS, to 307-269-2040. Or if you happen to be overseas, all you need to do is go to hangout-marketing.com to take that assessment as well. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the show. I'm going to introduce you to my very special guest, Pamela Vandervoort. Now, Pamela is a terrific gal, and she is a love coach. I love this. I wish I'd known about her about 12 years ago. And she is the founder of Dating for True Love. Now, isn't that the point? Well, maybe not for everyone, but for most of us, we're looking for dating for true love. And she's going to talk to us about that. Secrets to finding lasting love in our lives. Now, listen, guys, if you're here, this pertains to you too. It's all about the relationship we have with one another. So even though we're having a hot topic here that says, is a good man really hard to find? I'm sure that Pamela's also going to talk to us about that same question. For men, is a good woman really hard to find? She's going to give us some clarity on that topic first. Secondly, we're going to talk about learning the best dating strategies to find true love. Again, all this would have been so valuable for me a number of years ago, and I know you know someone who this would be valuable for today. Finally, how about avoiding the obstacles to finding true love? Well, Pamela's got some insights on that as well. So Pamela, go ahead and unmute yourself. Come on in and say hi to our audience, won't you?
Hi, everyone. Excited to share with you my secrets.
Well, that's what we're expecting. And I know you've got them. And through a lot of experience and training, you're going to share with us the best of what you've already learned about finding true love and creating a lasting relationship that's really, so fulfilling. I know that's the case with me. My husband that I found the second time around truly is my true love. It is a lasting love. And we do a lot of things to keep it good and powerful. And so let's start, Pamela, with a little bit of your background. I mean, this is an unusual career path, isn't it? And so I'm sure you've got some explanation for us, like how did you become the expert in coaching and finding true love?
Well, when I did my master's degree in spiritual psychology at University of Santa Monica, I was kind of dealing with the aftermath of my own divorce, and I had started dating, and I just was so surprised by how difficult it was. I mean, when I got a divorce, I had never had a problem finding relationships in the past. I was kind of a serial monogamist. And all of a sudden, I was just shell-shocked, like, whoa, what happened? And so for my master's degree project, I decided to teach what I wanted to learn, which was relationships. So I taught this program, Conscious Relationships, and a bunch of women, of course, did the program with me. And it wasn't even geared towards finding love, but turns out, that's what these women wanted. And just by applying some of these techniques that I learned in graduate school, the spiritual psychology, and applying some consciousness to their relationships, several women actually found love during my little 7-week free program. But I still hadn't even occurred to me to make it a business. So when I graduated, I started a group of people who wanted to accomplish a goal. And literally all the women who showed up were like, my goal is beloved love. My goal is to find true love. And so I put my thinking cap on and I said, you know what? There's got to be a system to doing this. There's got to be a way to help people find true love without going through all the agony, without learning the hard way, and without making a bunch of mistakes. And that's where I came up with my business and my intensive program, which is really the 5 steps to true love. And it's really a system for finding your perfect match.
All right. I just had to unmute there for a moment. We don't really think of this when first of all, when you come off a divorce, it's pretty devastating for most people anyway. And then to stumble out there, I know, goodness sakes, I hadn't been in the dating market in 15 years. I actually chose consciously to focus on raising my young daughter, who at that time was in kindergarten. I had 2 young boys who were, 5 and 7 years older than that. And I felt that I needed to give them the attention. So I just sort of bowed out of dating altogether. It also scared the bejeebies out of me. But I bowed out. And had I known that there was a way to do this that wasn't so terrifying, I think I would have probably ventured in sooner. So I've never heard of having a system, a step-by-step system. I just love that you've created that.
Yeah.
And everyone here and anyone else out there that you can refer Pam to can be the beneficiary of that in this big world, which is now, internet based as well. So
yeah.
Well, let's go into the hot topics, because the first one I get a real kick out of, and I don't know how many women have probably said this. There's no good men out there. And it's a good man really hard to find. And I can only imagine that men have said the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I just can't find any good women out there. And even my husband, when we started dating, he said he had a few horror stories before we met that, almost said, I don't know that I want to do this, because I'm finding a lot of needy women out there. I want someone who's strong and independent and can laugh and play with me. And he wasn't finding them until we found each other. So let's talk about this topic. Is a good woman really hard to find? Is a good man really hard to find?
Absolutely, if you don't believe it's possible. And I have found with women that, a few dates with the wrong person, and they will sit around and talk about how there's no good men, and they'll go online, and the men that contact them are just people that they just would never date in 1,000 years. And, there's just no one good out there. And the thing is that the more that you talk about that, the more that you see that, the more that you focus on that, then that's really what you're going to get. And the truth is that are there some scary people out there? Absolutely. Are you going to come across them online? For sure. But not putting your focus on that, and putting your focus on, who do I want to be with? What's a quality man, quality woman to me? And proactively moving towards that will actually make that myth completely go away. I remember when I learned how to date online properly, I could not believe how many amazing people there were out there. And even people who I met who weren't the one, were amazing, awesome people who I just enjoyed spending time with and getting to know.
Well, that's all. A big part of it is being open
Mhm.
to discover. There are so many people out there, and
Mhm.
you have different compatibilities, I'm sure, and you're not going to know what those are. And you might know what you're absolutely not willing to settle for, but perhaps you haven't thought through what's really ideal for you. And maybe you don't know until you get out into the mix and experience a little bit. Is that what you were finding?
Yes, and the other thing is that what people do all the time, especially when you're dating later in life, like dating in later in life, you've pretty much gone through a divorce, or you've gone through a breakup, or you've had your heart broken. And what I hear over and over again is like, I never want to experience that again. I never want to go through that again. And so you're bringing that past stuff, you're bringing what you don't want to experience again into your present, and you're dating in this way of like trying to avoid catastrophe instead of dating in the way of, what do I want to experience now? How, what is something that I would really like to experience in a relationship, and focusing on that.
So it really is a matter of your mindset and where you're focusing. So if you're focusing on a good man or a good woman is hard to find, that's just what you're going to attract to. And that's why you said, yes, absolutely, if that's the way you think. And
Mm-hmm.
when you turn that into the whole dating experience, whether or not, if you say, I never want to go through that, you're not focusing on what would be ideal for you, at least in a real positive way. You're focusing on your fears from the past, which isn't going to get you moving forward into a lasting relationship. It's all about focus, right?
Yeah, and then it's also going to really affect how you show up on a date as well. So, and when I hear from men, speaking of like, are there any good men? What I hear from men, most of all, men out there, you're probably going to agree with me, is like women show up on the date totally goal oriented. They're like in a job interview. I even recently heard from one man who said, I'm really excited to just go out with a normal woman, because every woman's like, what? You're going to take that call? What? Your cell phone's on the table? Just, whoa, okay, wow. I feel like I'm in the bright light is on me, and I'm in the spotlight, and I'm being interrogated, because coming into it with that, I never want to experience that again, or, I don't want to put up with that from the past, just brings about this whole feeling of being job interviewed on a date, which just doesn't work.
Oh God, no, I can't even imagine that. But
Yeah,
that's
but
how
it
you
happens a
show up.
lot.
Well, let's go into the second hot topic, because that's important then. And that is what you call the best dating strategies to
Mm-hmm.
find true love. And that has everything to do with how you show up on a date, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It does, but then there's also just knowing how to do it. Just in my graduate school in spiritual psychology, one thing that was sort of the premise of what we learned was that there's the goal line and there's the learning line. So the goal line is like accomplish true love, go out, date, and then when it stops working, you get on the learning line. So if you're online and you're just constantly not getting any results, you have to take a step back and say, okay, what do I need to learn about this experience? So one of the first things on the learning line, I would say, is, have a great profile. In my Dating for True Love online program, I do profile makeovers for people. And what I always see is like, I love to walk on the beach. I love sunsets. I love doing yoga. Everybody loves sunsets on the beach. It's just not that unique. And what is somebody gonna, if somebody is, interested in you, are they gonna email you and say, hey, I love sunsets too? It's like, so I always say, find something unique about yourself. Find something interesting about you, and put that in your profile. And then everybody always says, oh, I want a man who's got a great sense of humor and who's intelligent. It's like everybody wants somebody who's intelligent and with a great sense of humor and laughs and has fun. So pick something unique to say about what you're looking for. Like one woman said, I'm looking for a grown-up Boy Scout, or, all the attributes of a Boy Scout and a grown-up man. That's interesting. It can kind of bring about, good conversation.
Well, that really makes sense, because you're going beyond the broad, that the sort of thing that everyone would say. Yeah, I like to walk on the beach and I love sunsets, and I like someone with a good sense of humor. Not that those aren't important values. It's that what you're saying is put something down that sets you apart and draws attention to some unique values that you would be seeking that might fit better with somebody. Is that correct?
Yes, and it also brings about a conversation, because just because you're online and you've put out there like, oh, I'm looking to meet somebody, oh, I'm looking to meet somebody too, it doesn't mean that you just stop having conversations and like get down to the nitty gritty of, are we compatible? So dating online should really be like a conversation that you're having with somebody. And so if you put some just unique, witty anecdotes about yourself that are interesting, then it's a good way of opening up a conversation. And then your emails and your subsequent conversations after that are just a continuation. And that's really a great way of getting to know people.
So these are a couple of good strategies. You're starting out really with your profile even before you started to date. And then you're talking about how you show up on a date as far as your mindset is concerned. And it's not an interview, it is a conversation.
Yes.
Good grief, that's relationships in general, isn't it? You want to have a conversation and get to know somebody, get a sense of who they are, what their personality is, and you certainly don't want that to feel like an interview. That would be crazy. Okay, so do you have any other tips you want to add to that for dating success? Let's talk about as you maybe get past the first date.
Well, one thing is also the way that you date. And I kind of touched on it a little bit before when I was talking about the interview. In my program, I identify 5 stages of relationships. And there's the casual dating stage, the evaluation dating stage, and the committed dating stage. Those are the first 3. Well, the thing that's interesting is that a lot of women don't spend any time at the casual dating stage. They go right into the evaluation dating stage. And then sometimes they will evaluate somebody in a record amount of time, and in their mind, they're in the committed dating stage. Some women are in a committed mindset after like the first 2 dates. Well, the interesting thing is that men tend to be more in the casual dating stage. They can spend a lot of time in the casual dating stage, and a lot of men will enjoy dating. I mean, not all, but a lot. So if a woman is bypassing the casual dating stage altogether, analyzing, oh, do I think he'd be a good husband? How would he be with my kids? Oh, do I think that he would be able to be a provider for me? Oh, what do you think he would like to do next year on vacation? Do you think he would like to go to, it's like, whoa. So you really have to get comfortable and spend time in the casual dating stage and really learn how to do that well. Even one of my clients is always talking about whether there's an attraction. I don't know if there's an attraction to him. I don't know if I felt attracted to him, but I felt attracted to him. But then I'm like, you don't have to worry about that. Are you having a good time in this moment? Is the conversation flowing? Are you connecting? Do you enjoy his company? So really staying present and learning how to date casually, taking the intensity down like 10 levels is going to always make a successful date.
Okay, gals, did you hear that? No jumping quickly into the evaluation stage. Have fun in the getting acquainted stage. And, when I think about that in my own life and just sharing a couple of things, my husband, who I was in the casual dating stage, we started out golfing together and laughing our way through it because we were both loved golfing, but we weren't great at it. So we did a lot of duffs, as you would call it. And we had a great laughing time on it. And I remember saying to myself, I have no idea where this is going, but I'm having a great time right now. And that's really all that matters. We also went to the zoo. It was the same thing. The whole idea was to have fun together and, to see. But I never do remember going into evaluation at that point. It was like, I'm really out to have a good time. So that worked real well for me because we didn't move in the evaluation stage for quite a while. We had a wonderful casual relationship to begin with and became really wonderful friends. And I would think that that would be part of the formula, isn't it? It's not about attraction right away necessarily. It might be there, but having and growing a friendship, it seems to me, is really critical to a lasting relationship.
Yeah, it really is, and it's moving through those stages, being in the casual dating stage, mastering the casual dating stage, and then the evaluation dating stage isn't what people think it is. Like, oh, how much does he make? Check. Oh, what kind of job does he have? Check. It's really more about deeper things like, okay, I've just now learned how to ask for what I want from this person. How does he receive that? That's such a big thing. It's like so many times it's easy to be goal oriented. Like, I want to get to that commitment. I want to get to that commitment. So I'm just going to ignore the fact that, I didn't hear from him for a week. And then, he calls me and asks me out that very night. And instead of saying, hey, you know what, this is what I want. I'd love to see you again, but I would really appreciate if you could give me a little bit more advance notice. Is there a better time that we could meet next week? Instead it's like, well, he asked me now and I should just go out with him because I want to, get him or, get committed or whatever. And that doesn't work. If you say that same thing, oh, I'd really love a little more advance notice. Could we plan next week? And if he gets like, well, I don't know what I'm doing next week, then guess what? Move on. There's always somebody new. And that's that whole scarcity thing. Like, oh, there's no good men out there. Actually, there's a lot of men out there. Trust that there'll always be somebody new, and there'll always be somebody new, and you won't be afraid to move on from the person that you got attached to when you should have just been casually dating them.
Well, I think that's really the key, is to give yourself permission to stay in that casual stage for a while. But as you say, also, having some of your own boundaries in the process, not necessarily being available the night they call, but letting them know if you are interested in getting to know them better, letting them know that you'd love to arrange something next week perhaps. I like that. So how long, or maybe there isn't a time frame, but on average, how long would you suggest that people think about staying in the casual dating stage?
I would say definitely the first 3 dates. You hear a lot about that whole having sex on a third date thing. And I'm like, wow, don't do that, because you should still be casually dating for the first 3 dates. And then the evaluation dating stage should be at least up to 6 weeks. And I say 6 weeks to 3 months. And a lot of it also depends on the frequency. 3 dates over a period of 3 months, you need to have many more. You're still casually dating. I don't care if it's been 3 dates, So a lot of it's, you see the momentum starting to build and stuff like that. But I definitely do not think you should be into the committed dating stage any earlier than 6 weeks. I always say that you can't lose anything worth having by waiting.
And do you recommend that when people are looking for lasting love, that they date several people at the same time? Or do you recommend that you get to know one person at a time?
No, I actually do recommend that you date more than one person at the same time. And that's a really great question. And the reason that I think it's beneficial is because sometimes it can get really easy to get fixated on this one person. And if, you've ever gone through that thing of like, oh my gosh, is he going to call? It's been 3 days. I haven't heard from him. Is he going to call? Well, if you have a lot of other people you're talking to, you won't even notice. You won't even notice that he didn't call. You know what I mean? Because you're like busy, doing other things. So that really helps with not being so goal oriented and so fixated on this one person.
So where are the best places to find these really great men and really great women? What do you recommend? So you can date more than one at a time.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, dating more than one person at a time. I can't even get one date. Well, I actually just recently had a client who, when she first started out, she had no dates, or she had a series of first dates and could never get to a second date. And after going through this, now she's just like, I'm so busy, I'm dating all the time. And the thing is that, you know, first of all, she did have to learn how to casually date and how to take the intensity down and how to just have fun. But also, one of my biggest dating strategies is to go out and find people, you know, to spend every day going out and finding people that you like. Because if you're just waiting for the computer to match you with people, it's just like and that's where you're going to fall into the myth of there's no quality men, because you're just waiting for this computer to like match you with people. Well, I don't care how great the algorithm or how wonderful the data, whatever is. The fact is that you know who you like more than the computer does. And so if you go out and use some of the different features that these online dating sites have to find people that you like and do it on a consistent basis, you will actually find a lot of people. And there's this new app out right now that a lot of women are liking. It's one of those swipe apps. And oh my gosh, how can I be drawing a blog on this? Because I work with this a lot. I'm going to look at Bumble. And
would you repeat that again? What's it called?
Bumble, like Bumblebee.
Bumble, okay, yes. Bumble.
And it's so great for both women and men, because the woman is the one that has to initiate the contact. The man cannot initiate the contact. So it's all in the woman's hands. And so she swipes right if she likes somebody and left if she doesn't. And then she has to initiate the contact. So it's a really great app for getting a lot of, access to a lot of different people and contacting a lot of different people. And it's kind of fun. So I really recommend that for you women out there. And I recommend that for you men out there, because then you have an opportunity to then swipe right for yes or left for no, if you like them back. So it's kind of fun.
Well, that does sound fun, and it sounds rather adventuresome, and it gives women a little bit of control in the process, but obviously the men have it too. I know there's so much more we could go into, and of course we go through this 30 minutes so fast, but we've got to talk for a few minutes about obstacles.
Okay.
Before we do that, I just want to let people know that we are going to bop on over to Blab for the after show and talk about this in a little more depth, and make it available to our Twitter friends as well. So please plan to come join us and Blab, and I will be posting that in the comments section in just a moment. I think you might want to ask Pamela some questions yourself, and get a little more depth in some of the information she's giving you. So we'll go over there in a few minutes, but let's touch base on the obstacles that are interfering with finding lasting love. I know you've got a few to share with people.
Well, the biggest obstacle is fear, which, as you remember, you felt really nervous. One of the reasons that kept you from dating was really kind of fear, like, oh, do I want to get back out there? But the bigger obstacle once you do get out there is giving up too soon. It's like going out on a few dates or meeting a few people and either not liking them or not being interested in them, or say, you go on Match.com, which is sort of the most popular one. And again, you get matched with all these people that you don't like, and you feel discouraged, and you, oh, forget it, this isn't for me, and you quit. Or even if you do meet somebody and you go out with them and they don't call, that's like a big discouragement for women, is when they do go out on a date and they feel like everything went great and they feel like they really hit it off, and then they never hear from him again. And a lot of women at that point quit. But the thing is that you really don't know this person, and the best way to overcome that is to just get out there and date some more people. And also I think it's really helpful, and why I started this business is when I first started really taking this into a business, I started a meetup group called My Dating Support. And my theme was dating, don't do it alone. Because you go through these times where somebody doesn't call and you don't know why, and you don't know what you're doing wrong, or you're having bad luck online, and it's really frustrating. So in order to kind of feel that safety, to feel that security, to have some help when you're dating, to have that support, because it really will transform your dating experience. It's just like, I always use the marathon analogy with finding love. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And the people who are the most successful at finishing the marathon are the ones that join a running group. You know, you don't see too many people running that marathon by themselves. You know, it's like they're always like, this is my running partner, you know, this is my running group, my training group, you know, they get a bunch of friends, they train together. I mean, there's a reason for that, because it's very hard and frustrating to do these things on your own.
I think that's a great idea, and I bet a lot of people haven't thought of that. So would you suggest, do you have that available through your own services, Pamela, or do you suggest that people go look for meetups that might be focusing this way?
I think that the singles meetups are not the best way to go for that kind of support, because a lot of times they're just sort of like ways to meet people. But I do actually, you know, I say hop onto my website, get on my list, because I actually am going to be opening up a Facebook page or a Google Plus page and really starting that community back up again. Because while I do, you know, one-on-one coaching and I do some group coaching with my programs, I really do think it's so important to have support. And you can start right now by coming over to Blab and asking me your questions. There's got to be some frustrating wall that you just hit in your dating, or something that happened on a date and you're like, I just don't know what happened. So take advantage of this and find out now.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and post the link for Blab in the comment section. And we're going to finish up this interview here and move on over there. And it's, you know, we're trying Blab out as the after show because it's a lot easier for people, we are finding, to get in and chat. So I want to encourage you to come on over. And before we say goodbye, Pam, any last thoughts? And again, repeat for them your website so they know where to find you.
Yeah, so it's www.datingfortruelove. And my last thoughts would be this. A lot of people feel that finding true love and finding lasting love is this insurmountable task. And I'm just going to tell you that it's really not. I really do believe in my heart that there is somebody out there for everybody. And in today's world, it's very confusing because it's like we're all independent. Women are independent. Men are independent. We're taking care of ourselves. We're doing our self-growth. But really, a true love relationship is a relationship where you have the freedom to pursue your own goals, and then you also meet each other's emotional needs as a couple. And that's really the way relationships are going, and it is possible for you to have it. That is the new way of being in relationship, and dating to have that is absolutely possible. And so I don't want anybody to ever give up.
There you go. Final tip. Never give up. Do not surrender to frustration. Don't quit. You deserve a true lasting love in your life. And now you've got Pam as a resource. So come on over and join us in the after show on Blab. I have posted it in the comment section, but it is just hmtips.com/IBWS Blab 5. So come on over. We're going to say goodbye here today. And thank you, Pamela, so much for your wonderful advice. As I said, I wish I'd known about it 12 years ago, but I was blessed to find a wonderful man with a lasting love. So I guess I did okay, but I know that there's a lot of people that are frustrated with this topic. So come on over to Blab and we'll see you over there in just a moment. Thanks so much. Bye-bye now.
Bye.